Good morning. We are live day 2 from Create in Nashville. I am Alicia Kelso, executive editor for Nation's Restaurant News. So privileged to be here this morning with Barry McGowan, the CEO of Fogo de Chão. Been CEO since 2019.
Yes.
Okay, that's a crazy couple years you've been through.
Yeah, it has been.
So tell me, just give us a brief history lesson on your experience within the past 6 years of what can only be described as a roller coaster, what your priorities were coming in, and then the adjustments that I'm sure you've had to make since then.
Bet. Well, it's great. Like all of us went through that time in this last 6 years, but I started actually almost 13 years ago. So as the president. So remember, we had the great financial crisis, we had a recession, and then we had COVID. So now we have something else. So it goes back to
That's unnamed.
Yeah, unnamed, yeah. But it's still, it just shows that our industry is resilient, the consumer is resilient, and those that lean into where they need to be long term, usually make it through. Doesn't make it easy. Our industry isn't easy, but it's really important. And I would say this overall, those that are investing wisely are making it through, and that's what we feel really good. Again, we're a 46-year-old brand. Mm-hmm. Remember, we've also started in Brazil. Yeah. You understand the dynamics in Brazil, the economy, all that. So I would say culturally, we're used to it. We just keep focusing on the fundamentals of great guest experience, high quality, and driving experiences, and that translates globally, regardless of the economy.
Very good. When you say investing wisely, give us some examples of that.
Well, I think, a lot of it is, taking care of assets, transforming, continuing to pay attention to what the guest likes and wants, and generational shifts. So I say that after being 46-year-old, the culinary art form we do is still the same, but I would say what's interesting is trends are changing to our platforms, meaning we do whole food, nutrient-dense ingredients, and we give the guests full customization in the moment. So the immediacy, customization, and high-quality nutrient-dense food, meaning whole foods, whether it's protein or market-rich foods from the market table, all are relevant to consumers of any generation and across the world the same. Now, how you deliver it in the box, the atmosphere, the hospitality, and the care is important. Now, that's one side. That takes a lot of investment in training, in people, in your assets, and in quality. So you can never escape that. What we like to say is every dollar revenue we get, our first dollar goes to our labor, meaning we invest in labor every day. We don't cut labor. We invest in training, the talent readiness of our team, and then we focus on quality of product. Because we don't have a menu, we're always sourcing good quality product across the globe and taking the best quality, giving that optionality to the guests to choose. That keeps us from taking a lot of price and giving the value to the consumer that comes in, and that's where we believe we'll continue to lean in to stay competitive.
Imagine that last piece has become a bit more challenged of late.
Yeah, it's, I'd say, remember, we've been here before where we had really tight supply, high demand, primarily on beef, let's say. So unique to our models, we don't have a menu, so we're commodity buyers. So there's always dynamics, but we tend to move seasonally and with overhang, because I don't have a specification around an 8-ounce steak. I can buy, different size loins, bring in different cuts. I'm one of the only concepts that I can offer you more choice, meaning if I add another cut of steak, like strip steak, when it's at $7 a pound, ribeye is at $13 a pound, I can mix shift organically, and you get the best of both, and actually make the guest happy, mitigate cost, and continue to keep innovation at the forefront of the guest.
Very good.
Makes sense.
Thanks for that color.
Yeah.
I'm looking at numbers here. You just opened in Nashville.
Sure. Yep.
So we're in Nashville. Congratulations.
Yep.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that.
Yeah.
We partner with Technomic for this data, but staggering growth last year. 9.2% up on sales. Yeah. 15.2% up on unit count. Your average unit volumes are a whopping $9.4 million.
That's right.
Now, this is despite this unnamed
unnamed
thing we're going. Maybe you and I can come up with a name
later.
Come
up with, whatever. Just another transition.
This wonky environment, though. Obviously, the industry at large was woefully soft last year. Yeah. So, what is insulating you? You're just cruising along despite all of it. What's insulating you?
Well, I would say, look, it goes back to occasions. The consumer is being very choosy. Remember, their spend is relatively the same, They're just being more selective where they go. So going out has to be worth it. I would just say Chili's is doing a great job of value, driving guests in. So I would say the dislocation of price from fast food to fast casual, now casual's coming back into vogue, which we're really excited about. It shows you the consumer has to win on value. You can't just take price. So I think this is still a little bit of overhang from COVID, pricing imbalance, and I think everybody's correcting. Great news as we see the rebound going. Value has always been important to the guest. So I would just say for the last 10 years, our average price over the last 10 years on a CAGR basis is about 2.5%.
Wow.
So we've kept it with inflation. We work really hard on inputs, and we don't try to take price.
Right.
If we can give more value and not take price, we prefer to do that. So long-term healthy traffic is really the key driver to any restaurant.
Very good. And you're able to do that on price because of those investments that you're making.
Investments and the nimbleness of our model, the structural advantage to our model that we can be that nimble on procurement and how we pull in and out of product, because our menu isn't anything more than what we have in front of you.
Sure.
And we just keep that rich, high quality, and keep it rotating for your benefit.
I like that you obviously touched on value. I can't remember. I've been covering the industry for 16 years. I don't remember ever being so busy trying to discern what this value environment, how it's defined, basically. It's wildly different from 2009.
Yeah.
That obviously entails some promotional pieces, because in 2009 too, we didn't have social media the way we have. We didn't have 24/7, so there's a lot of noise out there.
That's right.
Explain how Fogo is able to play in this intense value environment and cut through the noise
Sure.
of everybody else who's trying to do this.
Well, I'd say it's challenging for us just the same. So I think, picking your space and being true to what your concept is. And I think for us, working with our partners at Main Capital is really about how do you drive trial and incentivize people to come back to drive frequency. So building our restaurant is our first awareness play. Trial is our next. So the opening price point just needs to be strong for the value. So right now we're running a limited time experience of $49. So we're not at $10.99, but at $49, it's the cost of a center cut. It's actually cheaper than a center cut filet in most steakhouses. With that, you can get, numerous amount of cuts, full market table, and all that go with it. So the value is even stronger. So value at price point matters in how you compete, especially socially. Now, what we love is our brand is very experiential, very engaging, and very social. Our own guests put it on socially. So we're just feeding that with reasons to come through new innovation. We do monthly bar cocktail drinks. We do wine and wagyu at the bar. We're doing scotch and dry, or whiskey and dry age, just events to drive social engagement. Sure. So all that just goes back to entry points, and what we love about those events is 40% of the people showing up are new customers, never been to Fogo. So our brand still has a lot of discovery to unlock.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really the tailwind, our demographic. Because remember, we're 87% millennial, Gen Z, we're 42% female, we're very ethnic, our demographic, and we have a 26% family use. It's completely opposite of a steakhouse. So we really play in a unique space for dining, and we just keep leaning into that socially. And our value proposition, we have a $10 picanha burger we serve in the bar all day long.
Yeah.
We have all day happy hour. So we just make sure we have loss leaders and ways for you to dine that are appropriate for your occasion and your budget. So that's just where the frequency unlock comes for us.
And several differentiators, which I think is really critical when we talk about that noise.
That's
I mean,
yeah.
There's not a lot of folks out there doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's a unique model, and it's rooted in authenticity. That's what I always say. Remember, we're from Brazil, growing in America. We're not a concept. We are a culinary art form with centuries old, version. So we just like to say we lean into that culinary art form. We innovate from there. And we give all that value to the consumer. And what we love is our youngest demographic loves us, and as they grow, that's we call our next wave, Fogo Fanatics, which we're excited about.
And the Fogo is Fire campaign that was launched in March. Can you provide any color on how has that helped bolster your Gen Z audience? I mean, give us some of the the results that you're so willing to share from that.
Sure. So, it's an investment. That's where we, again, really value our strategic partnership and the ownership of Bain Capital. They see our brand for what it is. They understand the brand love that's there. So we've never really invested in top funnel around brand positioning. Like Fogo is Fire is really, it's literally, culturally, and it means a lot to our consumer. Gen Z with Tim named us, their favorite restaurant. By the way, very humbling. We had no idea that was coming because they're a small segment but growing, but they love our brand. They love the idea of immediacy, total control, and full customization, all for a price value that they understand. So that I think underpins it. So that campaign is just the start of telling our story more effectively. We've been doing it bottom funnel with digital, social. Now we're looking at out of home, and then going really sharing the experience through creative that I would say would broaden our appeal and help us continue to build our awareness. Remember, our awareness in America is only about 40%.
That's insane.
Very small.
Lots of potential.
In Brazil, we have 10 restaurants, and our awareness is 85%.
Jeez, okay.
So it just shows you awareness takes a long time. We're really a small brand in America.
Yeah.
Growing one restaurant at a time, and Bain Capital's helping us really unlock that.
Understood. How will you be, I guess the conversation that we're going to have next year.
Yeah.
Are you going to ramp up investments in marketing to support that brand awareness goal of yours, to support the growth, or what are we going to be talking about?
So I would just say we're transforming it with better insights, better data allocation, better segmentation. So we've invested in data monetization with AI. We're also we've got a great omni-channel partner with Gale, and building out our own CRM CDM. So all that matters. We just launched our first ever rewards program. Most people call it loyalty. We just reward you. It's so simple. You show up, you get a reward. So those things are how we're building frequency, and that's really off to a great start. It's beyond our expectation already. So if you think about marketing next year, we're just building on what we've done for the last 12 years and trying to do it more effectively and really investing upstream for the top funnel piece, which we're excited because that's the awareness unlock. But first, that dovetails with development. Developing our market. Right now we had 13 years ago, we had one market with multi-units. That was Sao Paulo, Brazil. Mm-hmm. Today we have 16 markets. So now we're really starting to, I would say, build a brand. Mm-hmm. We have 10 restaurants in LA. So now we're doing our first, we call it multi-unit or dense market testing. So those are the things that we know that as we learn and grow and build our brand, we're going to be investing more and more into our brand story to unlock awareness, trial, and frequency.
Sure. Do you have a domestic footprint goal?
I would say our TAM is between 300 and 400. We feel very comfortable. We've said as much as 600 if you think 30 years from now, but our goal right now is we're at 86. Next year we'll be at 100 or just over 100 Americas. That's a big milestone to reach. We've reached 10,000 team members this year, which is great. But we also are coming up on our first $1 billion in system-wide sales in the next couple of years. So those are, for a 46-year-old brand, as you know, this industry is really tough, to do it organically, 28 years in America, it's a really big thing. So we just like to say between 10 and 15% growth algorithm, we've sustained that. We feel like we can continue to do that organically. Right. We just want to open one restaurant at a time, execute one shift at a time, and make sure our guests and team members are really, I would say, benefiting from that growth. Sure.
Slow and steady.
That's right.
Very good. There have been rumors about a potential IPO.
Sure.
I think for years now. Very.
That's right.
So I'm here to ask, I'm here to ask what the status is on that. We talked about this weird, undefined, wonky environment. So is an IPO something that Fogo could, execute?
Well, good news is we successfully went public before, and then we went private. Now, 2 years ago, we filed 7 S1s to go public. The market wasn't there, so we were actually strategically did a phenomenal deal to partner with Bain Capital. So I'd say this, we're always ready. That's an option for us. We are, I would say, Tony Leday and our team are, disciplined around the IPO readiness. Bain Capital is very supportive on that. But really for us, it's about just growing the business, whether we're public or not. Creating value and unlocking value is really what we're doing. And we're excited that when the markets open up, I think it's potential. We'll work with Bain on that opportunity when the timing's right.
Okay, very good. Final question then. You transition when the markets open. I want to sort of zoom out because of your unique perspective, being insulated with your metrics against a really challenging and painful backdrop.
Yeah.
What are your expectations, I guess, for the consumers and the markets as we continue to navigate this great uncertainty that we can't even define.
Right. Well, I think when you go back to the resilience is here, the consumer's balance sheet is better than it's been pre-COVID. So employment is still staying steady, and that's really the key indicator, right? The employment wage is growing, inflation is going down. So structurally, everything looks good over the next 5 years. I just think that we're in a transitional point, not just with policy, but once that goes clarity, I guess once we have clarity by next year, it should be all behind us, meaning it'll be a structural one-time event, whatever that event is. We're all planning for that. We're all mitigating through it already. But remember, every company is talking about what could happen. Every company is not hiring, but they're not letting people go. So that pause is creating pause all the way down to every employee in every company just being cautious. I think that's a healthy thing. That'll keep us from a recession or hopefully any shock that happens. And I still think the resilience of the consumer dining out is still there. What I'm excited about still, and I've shared this, I've talked about this, our industry is going through a renaissance of getting better, meaning we're giving the consumer more, we're competing better, and all that value and unlock is about how we get consumers to know, why would you ever eat at home when you can eat at Fogo de Chão or eat out in other restaurants? So the point is, the value of dining out is stronger than ever. We've got to go through this transition, but remember, if we made it through COVID, this too shall pass, and we're going to be fine.
Amen. Yeah. I'm going to bottle your optimism and bring it home with me and open it every day.
Been doing it for 45 years, and I'm telling you, I'll just say this, La Savory's here, the brand. Look, there's so much new going on. It's exciting. Yeah. It's an exciting place to invest, exciting place to be working, exciting place to be covering.
Oh, yeah.
Because it never is boring. It's highly competitive, intensive, people rich, and by the way, our communities only get better when we do it better, which is great.
Agree. Thank you. Thanks for your insight, your time.
You bet. My
We're
pleasure.
cheering for you, and
Great.
Keep up the great work.
Great. Well, thank you for your time too. Appreciate it. By the way, thank you for all you do for our industry.
Likewise.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
Right. Appreciate it.